everybody, it's me, Margaret, back for another Cast Off Crew Monday video, and I'm on time today. And I just got back from a wonderful hike where it was kind of chilly, and I had on my baseball hat, but I was really wishing for something over my ears. Temperature's come up now, so we're a little bit better, but I told you last week that I was on a front post, back post kick. And that's what I want to talk about today. Now first we have here the Divine hat. And I have done the Divine hat before. Don't you see how it swirls? And I love it. And I just, well, I think Misty Rain Trail did it a while back. And it just, ever since I saw that, I was like, you know, I want to make this again. So I pulled it out and I did this. This was from a Bernat satin, which I really like this yarn. I had started using this and it was up there in my open skeins, but it was actually full skeins, so I guess I broke my streak. But really do like this yarn. However, I want to caution you, if you do this pattern, that it can get tricky based on the type of yarn, because it's not done like a regular crochet hat. You do start from the top and you do some increases, but you're not making a circle, so it's a little bit difficult to say, have I done far enough? Have I, you know, is this the right size? So I'll tell you, I have a little measurement that I have done. From here to here is 6.5 inches. So that gives you an average size woman's head. And then, I don't remember what this is, but I'm going to put it in the description box below. So if you want to make this hat, that will be a guideline for you. For an average woman, from here to here is about 6.5 inches. You know, measuring it flat. Love this pattern. It's easy. I actually did it when I had only been crocheting for a few months. But it comes out better. It's very elegant, don't you think? Which brings me to my next point. Trying to use up my scraps. I made one in this lovely color, but I ran out and I put an ivory color brim on it. It works. I mean, it'll work. Once you get it on, I guess it would probably be better. But it's not my favorite. I think you really need to stick with one yarn when you do this. But learn from my mistakes, or if you like it, you know, learn from that too. This is done with Caron Simply Soft, and it's a little bit on the lighter side. And again, I didn't measure. I couldn't measure because I ran out, but it didn't make any difference if I was going for 6.5 or not. I didn't have any more, so I stopped here. So this actually will fit a child. So now this is a little variation on the same idea. It's, let's see if you can tell what the difference is. You can see that the Divine hat swirls more than this does. This swirls a little bit just because of the increases. But it's great. It's a great hat. It's just not quite as elegant, I don't think, a design. But it's a good hat. This was done with the Caron 1 pound. Now another one that I did about the same time as I first discovered the Divine hat was this one. It was called Hat with a Bow. And again, it's very simple with the front post, back post. And you start off with a regular crown, and then you're just doing a front post and a regular crochet. Front post, regular crochet, and you do that all the way around. And then you finish off with a what is that? Double crochet and a single crochet brim edging on it. Now look right here. Can you see that that's different? That's where the bow will go. Now it's where you put your ribbon. Now ribbon is one of those things that you can get at great prices, and I do have a couple of these that I don't know which one I'm going to put. This I got on sale, 40% off. They were just having a 40% off sale. I think it was Joanne that day. These came from Michael's. They're micro spools, and I think these were on sale. They were right by the checkout one day, 2 for $1. It's just a small amount, probably just enough to go around this hat. you'll just weave it through those little triple crochets. So that's the only variation. Is, again, I'm using American terminology, but you're doing double crochets all the way through from the top to the bottom, and then you just do one row of triple crochet right there to give yourself a little bit of more room to insert that ribbon. So I'm not sure which ribbon I will use, but I'm just showing you that there are options. And of course that might be something really cool, is to provide a bonus ribbon, like if you were to sell it or give it as a gift, and people could interchange those ribbons depending on what they had on. So that's an idea. Now again, keeping with the same theme I've got going here with this front post, back posting, our own cast-off crew member, her videos are on Friday, is Zoe, 24 karat crochet. And she has this, well, it says it's a baby. It's billed as a baby hat, but she gives you instructions on how you can size it for anybody. And I have done it here in white. And this was a sport. And so what I did was held two strands together. And I really like the way it came out. But notice that I still have to put the flower and the I-cord on it. Now the I-cord is a brilliant idea, and let me tell you why. I told you before I had made this hat with the ribbon, and the problem is you have to keep the ribbon loose enough so that you can stretch the hat to put it on your head, but tight enough so it still looks good. If it's too loose, it's real floppy and messy looking. So that's kind of tricky. The I-cord will stretch, so that's pretty clever. So I will, I guess I'll need to be working on that this week. But I think that's clever. And I did have an idea though. If you can sew, you can add elastic to the inside of the ribbon. You'd have to search YouTube to find a tutorial or something. Same thing can be done to the back of your jeans. If they gap, you can insert a piece of elastic back there. But it's too complicated for me just to explain verbally. Not a complicated act, just a complicated explanation process. But that might be a better solution. So if I were to sell these, I think that's what I would do. I would alter all my little ribbons so that, it would just be a little bit more professional looking. But it's a good pattern, easy too. And so is Zoe's. Very well written. You can understand just what you need to be doing. It's written in American terminology. And I'll put the link again for everything, just as always. For anything I'm talking about, the link should be in the description box. If you check the description box and it's not there, let me know and I'll be sure to correct that. And because I'm always working on my Addi, and it's a good way for me to use up some more of my scraps, I did this little hat, but I used a front post, back post ribbing on the bottom. It's okay. I think I should have done it wider. Sometimes you just have to go all out to make something look right, and just a little bit of this crochet on the knit, I'm not digging. So I don't know if I would do that again. And while I'm on the topic of an Addi, I did this cute little hat, again out of scraps. Doesn't that look very Eastery? And this will fit a variety of head sizes. One, because the yarn is incredibly stretchy, but I also made sure that it is easy to adjust in the height by doing the roller bottom, the rolled brim. But yeah, you could roll it up as much as you needed to fit a baby or whatever. But I thought that came out really pretty. This is Big Lots yarn, a baby yarn. It has a sheen to it that you may not be able to tell. Very similar to Karen Simply Soft's sheen. And I really, really like this yarn. I like to work with it. I like the feel of it. It washes well. It's a good yarn. But if you watched Olivia Bennett, you know that it's mystery yarn. It says that it's made of the same exact, every label has the exact same ingredients, and that's not the case. They feel different. You know it has different fibers in it. But anyway. Now, the last thing I want to show you came about because of all the recent videos people are doing about their sock yarn. Specifically, Jan and Aaron have a beautiful collection of sock yarn. And sock yarn, face it, it's pretty stuff. The colors are always well matched. They pattern easily, and I just love it. I had bought some sock yarn a while back. Now, of course, I don't have a huge collection of it, and I only bought one skein of each colorway that I chose, because I was too stupid to know that if you were going to make any socks, you have to have one skein per sock. I was thinking, well, most people have 2 feet, so one skein must be enough for 2 socks. So anyway, I had these single skeins. I was like, what am I going to do with these things? This in particular that I'm talking about was a Peyton's stretch sock. Not the Crochet, but it's a real stretch. It says lightweight cotton blend, and it does have nylon in it. It's cotton, wool, nylon, and elastic, which makes for a very interesting yarn. And I got it on sale. It was originally $4.99, and it was marked down to $2, $1.99. I noticed when I went to Michael's the other day that, number one, they don't carry that kind anymore. They have just the Peyton's Crochet, and that's wonderful yarn. It seems a little bit thicker than this stretch yarn was too, by the way. But they also didn't have a lot of choices. It was like 5 colorways. That was it. But anyway, back to what I did. Okay, so I got some of it out, and I began to make a hat. And remember, why do I make hats all the time? Well, besides the fact that I like short projects, I donate most of this stuff, and what these organizations are asking for are hats. So that's what I make, which is a good fit for me because I like to make hats. But here you go. Dun da da! I love it. And see the front post, back post ribbing that I made at the bottom, which turned out a lot better on this. Now I used an E hook, which is a 3.5 millimeter, so they're tiny, tiny little stitches. But I found that self-striping yarn often works best in knitting than it does in crochet, because generally speaking, a crochet stitch, it takes more yarn than a knitted stitch. So single crochet would be the closest thing to a knit stitch that you're going to get. So that's what I did with a tiny hook, and I really, really like the way it came out. And it feels good too. It's a very unusual yarn. So I really, really like it a lot. Now, of course, it sucks, so it's durable. You can throw it in the washer. And anyway, I just am real pleased with that. So yes, I'll be making some more of these sock yarn hats. But it's good to know that you can get, and it did take the whole entire skein. Well, apparently I crocheted a hair into my hat. That's attractive. So I highly recommend, if you have never front posted, back posted, to give it a try. It just is a completely different stitch, makes an excellent ribbing down at the bottom, and feature points. You know, gives a really neat texture and pattern to your work. So give it a go.